Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again today.
We always love doing this. And Mom, how are you doing?
Brandon, I'm doing fine today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We're continuing on our theme.
Yes, we are. We're doing our somewhat Vlogmas Christmas theme for the month of December.
Yes, we are. And Mom, what are we doing for this video?
But today we're going to talk about the show Fresh Off the Boat.
Yes, we haven't spoken about the show yet on the channel, but we are speaking about an episode from season 4. Mom, are you able to let us know which episode?
It is, once more, another Christmas themed show. It's called Do You Hear What I Hear?
Yes, this episode released December 12th, 2017. It's episode 70 of the series.
Yes, it is. And I'll give just a brief synopsis of this particular episode. In this particular episode, Jessica's kind of in charge of the neighborhood entertainment, per se, for the holidays. And so, specifically, she's in charge of the chorus. That or the choir or the singing that occurs during the Christmas holidays, and so or caroling is what I'm looking for. But anyway, so she's in charge of that. However, this year there is someone new in town, and this person has been put in charge of the chorus, and Jessica is really not quite happy with that. She has volunteered for the chorus as she is not selected, which makes her really upset. And so she has lost the Christmas spirit, or as they have told her, she has lost the Christmas spirit. And so in this episode, she needs to find the Christmas spirit. And so that's what this episode is about.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And overall, what'd you think about this episode?
You know, I like this episode, Brandon. I really did. I don't remember it. I did watch Fresh Out the Boat when it was on, so I did not specifically remember the exact episode, but I really enjoyed watching this one.
Okay, I'm glad that you did. I do remember this episode, but I will say that to me, at least going back to it, like it sort of blended in with the mist of all of the other Christmas episodes they've had over their 6 season run. But it was nevertheless good to see it again.
Yeah, it was very nice to see it again. See it again.
Yeah, and Mom, are you able to tell us just a little bit? I mean, about the show since we haven't spoken about it on the channel before.
Well, it's about parents who moved to Orlando, and they have three boys, and they're raising their boys along with the husband's mother is also there too, and so they all live together in the same house.
Yes, and the show ran for 6 seasons, like I was just saying, 2000 February 2015 to February of 2020, right before the pandemic.
Yes, it did.
And Mom, before we go back into speaking about the episode itself, how was it? I mean, going into this episode, considering it's probably been at least for you 5 years since you've seen the series.
Yes, it has been that long, and it was. I will say I wasn't necessarily looking forward to watching it, for no other reason that it was just. Even though I watched the show and I did like it, it's not one that I go back to and watch on a regular basis. And so it was nice and refreshing, I guess, to see something that it's been so long since I've seen, to actually see it with new eyes and realize, what a nice show it really is.
Yeah, and I know a few months ago at the beginning of this year, I was trying to think of some contemporary shows that we can speak about for this holiday time because I was like, it's like there's so many classic shows that that we love, but we've reviewed so many of them already. So it's like let's try to find some more contemporary ones to fill in with it. But I definitely think that this episode was a good fit. But I will say, overall, would you say that this episode fits in with our sort of Christmas themes and guidelines that we have?
It didn't quite fit in with all the themes and guidelines, but that's okay because overall it had a message, which was basically Christmas is about being together. And they point blank just say that in the episode. But, we typically notice that there's certain things that kind of occur. There's, the Christmas tree itself that's normally emphasized, and that didn't happen here. But the sense of belongingness actually is what this episode concentrated on, and so for that, it did fit into the overall guidelines for the holiday specials.
Yes, and something that I thought was interesting is that for some of the other parts of the guidelines, like we usually see, like a sense of like community and family, and then parts of singing, is that while some of those parts do take place within this episode, something I think that sets this one apart from, let's say, other holiday episodes that we speak about is that there's also other plots going on too.
Yeah, they have four other plots, and I'm sorry to go back to your guidelines, not guidelines, but per se when you were talking about the people being together. In this sense, it wasn't the family really, because a lot of times the push is for the family to be together. In this episode, it was more so about the community being together. And so that's a little bit of a change from some of the typical episodes that we see.
Yes, it definitely is. And so, for instance, like even the family part of it, I mean, going to that aspect. Whereas most of the time for this, you see, let's say, a more traditional family coming together, or sometimes you see this one-off person come in and they need to be a part of some sort of family. Like I think about for the Benson episode where you had the random, I believe, maid that you've never seen before, never see after that, Mary, who has all these, I mean, who has these adopted children, and it's about sort of that. In this case, we do have family, but it's not in the Christmas plot per se, but with their neighbor Honey.
Yeah, it is. It is, which is interesting. And then the boys have a separate plot since they're three children. One of her sons, she's with she meaning Jessica, the mom, but the other two sons, they have a separate plot altogether. They are working with um, helping someone get a date. So they are. That's a different plot that's going on, and then the family that needs help and I say that very loosely, is not the main family. It is actually the neighbors who need help, um, and so it it doesn't do the typical things, which was nice to see that it was atypical.
Yeah, I will say that. I mean, it's interesting seeing when your traditional holiday shows or holiday episodes sort of take a change of pace from the typical expectations that usually are with these episodes. But usually, I will say for holiday episodes, like you see them sort of in a different light, at least for me, than traditional episodes. But I see this one kind of in the middle, where it could work either way depending as to which angle you're looking at it.
Very true. And then I also want to let the audience know that they did have Paula Abdul in this episode, so they did have a special guest star. And so, and sometimes the holiday episodes do have a guest star that kind of come in, and so Paula Abdul was the one in this one.
Yeah, so do you recognize it right away?
I did right away. Did you? The question is, did you know who she was?
No, not really.
Yeah, yeah. She was in my era, so I figured you may not have known who she was.
But yeah, so I mean, so I think in that aspect, I mean, it certainly does sort of go into that sort of theme where you have a little bit more, at least I've noticed for holiday episodes, a little bit more emphasis on some of these guest stars, whether they're really named people or not, in the sense of that come in to help show that holiday spirit.
Yeah. And you know, Brandon, like I do, I normally rate the shows 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. This one I gave a 4. For those who are looking for family friendly, this absolutely was a family friendly episode. So you could feel free to watch this with your children or whoever you like.
Well, Mom, let's say I'm glad you gave it that was that rating. I also agree with you for a 4. I was actually somewhat surprised you rated it that high.
You know, because it was entertaining and it kept me interested the whole time.
Yes, and I will say that as a very slight connection, is they did at least name drop Gilligan's Island.
They did, they did name drop Gilligan's Island. Yes, yes. And then also, apparently during the time that this came out, the Titanic came out about the same time period, the movie. And this, just so you know, this was based in after 1995. So I'm not quite sure what year that it would be in at this time for the show. So, so it was interesting to see that what I remember what was happening during when Titanic came out.
Yes, I did look it up. That'd be 1997. Did you watch Titanic?
I did, and I was like them. I watched it in the movies.
Did you watch it more than once in the movies?
No, I didn't. Once was fine.
But Mom, nevertheless, is there anything else that you want to say for Fresh Off the Boat?
No, I think that's it. Like I said, it's a nice episode. It was a nice holiday show, and I'm glad it's helping us to get into the theme for the month.
Yes, I'm definitely very excited to see all the different holidays through the decades or whatever we manage to find.
Yeah, same here. Say, and we thank everybody for watching today.
And we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, have a great day, everybody.